Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki Doki. Call me the journalist.
Hello there and welcome to 360 Degrees. My name is ANJIANJEI Constantine and thanks for joining in. Cameroon is more and more a safe haven for language training in Central Africa. Language learners from Equatorial Guinea, Chad, Gabon, DRC, and Congo, to name but these, are taking advantage of the bilingual nature of Cameroon and the quality training at some centers offer to learn many languages. This, however, goes with some challenges, which, according to experts, in most of these training centers, Cameroonians themselves are yet to see the need to be multilingual. According to most of these experts, they only do so when they have the need of traveling abroad. This and more will constitute some of our talking points in the course of this very first part of 360. Good morning once again and welcome.
My name is Wams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki Doki. Call me the journalist.
Thanks for joining in. If you're just tuning in, you're on to 360 Degrees. My name is ANJIANJEI Constantine. We are looking at the studies of languages in Cameroon, and my guest of honor today is a lady. Is called Madame Charlotte Simo. He's the director of the Institute of Languages for International Integration. I hope I get it right. She's awaiting a PhD in Applied Linguistics from the University of Boya, a lecturer at the same university. She holds a master's in teaching of French as foreign language, a staunch Christian with the Gospel of Christ Ministries, and director of Ilani. As I said, this institution is 11 years on and counting. Good morning, Madam Simo, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. ANJIANJEI. It's a pleasure to be here today.
You're one of those leading in the training of languages in Cameroon. Is Cameroon a safe haven as far as training, especially in foreign languages, is concerned?
Of course, Cameroon is a heaven. Saying it's a heaven is not an understatement. Cameroon being a bilingual country in the central region, and we are not to forget here that in the world there are two bilingual countries, Canada and Cameroon. So within the Central African, there is nowhere else but Cameroon. If you want to have
Ilani is one of those leading institutes that is bringing students, language learners from Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Chad, and all the others. Too many centers are, according to my research, are in Cameroon that are training in those languages. Tell us the different languages that you guys are practically involved in, and most especially, what particular language do those foreigners come to Cameroon to study?
Cameroon, Ilani is the leading center, if I can say so. Ilani set the pace and so many have followed, but Ilani always leads where many other language centers follow. And there are so many languages we offer at Ilani, not just on flyers. We offer English language, French, Spanish, Italian, Arabic, Chinese, and Portuguese as well. And so many people who come to Cameroon come for English most of the time, from Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Korea, Republic Central Africa, Central Republic African, and so on. Anyway, all the surrounding of Cameroon are there.
Now, you've been in this business, according to my research, for 11 years now. What is that motivation? What keeps you going? I know you're a linguist, and off mic you were telling me how passionate you're about training people in languages. What keeps you going 11 years on?
You know, there is doing something with passion. There's a difference with doing something and just doing it for doing sake. I am into career, into language. I'm not just somebody who is trying to see if it can work. I'll do it because I do it with so much passion. I love languages. And I can bet with you, I speak a lot of languages as well. And not only foreign languages, but even our national languages. I love languages.
So one would want to ask, because when you're training in language, I think the quality of the trainers also is a very pertinent aspect. Training in German, training in English, training in Chinese, and all those languages. How do you bridge the gap? We know Cameroon, we speak English and French.
We bridge the gap. You know, when you want something, you always look for different reasons why you should have it. So being in a language center with 7 languages, I always make sure that the people are informed of all of what we are offering at Ilani. And we also know, without any iota of doubt, that you can't go to a country out of Cameroon without the mastery of the language. If not, when you reach there, you will not really be easily integrated into the community. So looking at language as one of that main element for not just national but international integration, that is what it calls for an institution of languages for international integration, Ilani.
Well, looking at all the advantages that Cameroon has, one would have thought that we would find Cameroonians who are speaking not only English and French, maybe German and all those languages, but you seem to sound like mostly foreigners are taking advantage of this. What explains that?
It's true. Many foreigners are really getting into Cameroon for languages. I can't really say what explains it, but there is just that kind of call as far as Cameroonians are concerned, because majority who come to the language centers are mostly because they have that need to travel, not because they want to learn it for their own satisfaction. When I went into languages, I didn't learn languages because I wanted to travel. It's just because I had passions for languages. And I thought, but knowing many languages, it makes me different. To me, I look at language as power, not money is power. But having languages, you have power.
And of course, you're going to be telling us on 676335224 what you think about language training in Cameroon. If you think that it is a plus to learn an extra language, if you're English speaking or French speaking, we are waiting for those SMSs on 676335224. Time for us to take the very first element on this week's edition of 360. Madam Simo, I did some research on your school. Talked to some students. When we watch this element, when we come back, we shall be commenting.
All right.
We are Ilanians, we remain Ilanians, we remain true to be Ilanians.
The Institute of Languages for International Integration, Ilani, was born in 2006 with a single student, Mr. Gregorio Ndongdutumu from Equatorial Guinea, who studied for 8 months, after which we graduated him, and today he is working in one of the best American oil company in Equatorial Guinea.
I want to say around the importance of water. Water, oh water, how important you are. Drinking, cooking, mixing, washing, bathing, fooding is you. Transporting, putting engines, watering crops and plants, generating electricity is you.
Buenas tardes a todos, yo me llamo Karina, soy estudiante de Ilani, he estado aquí durante 9 meses, he aprendido muchas cosas y bienvenidos a todos los que han
Guten Tag, ich heiße Anselmo Wetangi, ich komme aus Cameroon in Afrika. Ich hatte für 6 Monaten Deutsch an Ilani gelernt. An Ilani kann man viele Sprachen lernen, zum Beispiel es gibt Englisch, Deutsch, Französisch und so weiter. Möchten Sie eine neue Sprache lernen, kommen Sie bei Ilani. Wir warten auf Sie. Jetzt auf Englisch.
I'm graduating as a student who can speak German, who can understand German, and can express myself in German.
And of course, those were excerpts of practical examples of people who are studying other languages other than English and French. I'm sure you must be emotional that they're watching some of your products actually expressing themselves in languages that they've never known from birth.
And I won't forget to tell you that I'm so surprised. How did you get to have all this information?
And that's what 360 is about. When we choose to talk about issues, we probe, we get behind the scenes to do research and get findings. You may even be shocked just before we get to the end of this slot talking about language studies in Cameroon. Let's come back. You are going to be defending a PhD in applied linguistics. That's surely going to be a plus in your training. Are you planning to use that in language training more and more?
Of course, that's why I'm doing a research in applied linguistics, and more precisely what I'm doing is based on language centers, how to improve the method of teaching in the language centers in such a way that when students leave, they can use the language to do whatever they came for in their different endeavors effectively.
Now, someone studying language just to speak it, and what's the difference between someone studying a language, for example, German, just to speak it, and someone who studies German because he wants to work maybe in the field of medicine or the field of accountancy? There must be a meta language, there must be a technical way of training people as far as this is concerned.
Of course, you have a language for general purposes. That's just learning a language to speak it. But when someone comes and tells you this is what I want to do with language, you take the need of the learner into consideration while building up the curriculum that you have to use for the student. So you don't just teach like that. You first of all make the need analysis, and from there you build up a curriculum, and that's what makes Ilani a very specific and unique language center, because we don't just teach, but we make sure that anyone who comes to Ilani meets the target at the end of the day. And that's why there is a method that we are implementing here. We are implementing at Ilani that I would not like to unveil here now, and it is what I'm working on, my PhD thesis.
Okay, you were telling me also off mic that most Cameroonians, especially English-speaking Cameroonians, don't see the need of studying French. And I got a little worried because I had a better grade in French in school more than in English. What efforts are you putting to kind of galvanize? I'm sure students just had their A-levels. Others, you said you don't need any particular qualification to study languages. What are the measures you're putting in place to ensure that many more people come to study languages?
Ilani, being an institution in Boya, in an Anglo-Saxon zone, would have expected the French department to always be full. But I can assure you it's the contrary. We can spend 1 year, 2 years without a single student in French, or if we have one, it is either an Equatorial Guinean or someone else, or maybe a Russian who has come to study a French language. And we are doing everything, making publicity to parents, going to schools to make them to know the importance of French, and not just French, but other languages as well. And that's what we are doing. We are doing enough publicity, and we sensitizing not only the students but the parent as well to see language as an addition to the children. Even if the child is in medicine, even at the job market, an additional language is an additional advantage for you to get a job.
Time for us to take these SMSs that have come in. This one says, how can we enroll in your institute because we wish to learn Spanish to learn Spanish? This will help me while in Spain in later years. It's coming from UK, even writing to us from Manfe. This one says, keep your messages quite clear, no shorthand. This one says, greetings, madam, your office has been, I think keep your messages quite fair and no shorthand, please, to enable us to be able to read it. Send us SMSs on 676335224. If you're just joining, you're on to 360 degrees. I was going to ask one question. Some say to teach someone a language that he has not been speaking from birth, you need to use other means just than pedagogy, actually getting into classroom to teach them, maybe using music, maybe sports, maybe extracurricular activities. Tell us about that.
It's but normal. Just imagine yourself. I remember an experience I had with a Russian who came to Ilani to study French language. She didn't understand English. She didn't understand French. I could speak perfect French, perfect English. She could speak perfect Russian, and I didn't understand Russian as well. So you see, that was I would like to say, it was really a scene which will scare many people away. But I took the challenge, and behold, Nadesta now in Yaoundé works in Yaoundé in a French-speaking institution, in a purely francophone town, and she does so well. So it's not just taking a book and standing, but there are so many other techniques that you use in the classroom to be able to make a student to learn the foreign language. And that's why I just said it's not just a matter of having a certificate, but it's a matter of passion. Is you being able to jump, to dance, is you being able to push the student, to make the student, the real language student, to come out of the student. That is what we do.
This message says, greetings, Madam Simo. We are worried, you speak so eloquently. We are worried that your office at Maling, is it at UB Junction, is closed. Where can we meet you? It's the person doesn't sign the message.
Yeah.
And this other one says, my name is Dina. I'm writing from Douala. I think learning languages apart from the 2 languages in Cameroon is very important for communication. And I would like to learn Spanish. Thank you very much. This other one says, what is the website of the school? So you're going to be answering those questions before we get into the next element.
All right, we display, the office is not closed at all. We just displace ourselves. The location wasn't any longer so suitable. It wasn't, it was no longer the level of Ilani. Ilani outgrew that level and we went to a better place inside Malingo Street towards Muya. Before you reach Hotel Bar 7, there is a street up. It's more academic, more pedagogic, and quite for language grasp.
And for those of you watching at home, we're going to beg for the quality of these images. Some of his ex-students giving us live testimonies on WhatsApp. You bear with us. It's just to share their experiences with you. Watch this when we come back. We shall be commenting.
Hello, good day. My name is Ansel. English is my first language. I learned German in Germany, in Ilani for 6 months. I said Germany because in Ilani, the German teachers teach you as if you're actually in Germany. So, and in Ilani also offers language courses in English, French, Spanish, and Arab.
Hello, good afternoon everybody. My name is Ilani Samba and I'm from DRC Congo. And today I'd like to talk about Ilani. Ilani is one of a kind. It's no school like no other, After obtaining my high school diploma, I was looking for a school language, a place where I can learn English. After doing a lot of research, asking people, and 80% out of 100% people advised me to go and study English at Ilani. Ilani is not an ordinary school. It's more than a school. It's a family. There you can find people for all over the world. People from DRC Congo like myself, from Chad, from Equatorial Guinea. And teachers. Oh man, they are wonderful. While being there, they take care of you.
Good morning. My name is Victor David. I'm from Equatorial Guinea. I've studied English language for 9 months. I could not speak anything, but now I can speak good English. Wherever you are in the world, if you want to study English language, there is no place but at Ilani. And at Ilani...
We are sorry for the quality of that image. Those were live testimonials. I'm sure I'm getting you more and more emotional. I got into your website, kind of look for contacts of alumni of your former students, talk to them, with them or on WhatsApp, and some of them were very excited. Had too many videos and we managed to have those on air. Time for us to maybe find out from you, what are the future plans we have for another academic year that is coming?
Very great plans for this coming academic year. And as I just looked there, there's even one of the students who just left, the one whose pictures was tilted to the left. We have great plans. No one should go elsewhere for languages apart from Ilani, especially now that the environment is really the one which is for languages.
And I was going to ask you, just for me to take these messages, there are too many of them. This one says, hi there, good morning, I love the program and I want to be part of it. I want to learn as many languages as I can. Mukete Primo from Kumba. Thank you very much, Primo. You can get to us through those contacts on your screen. This one says, good morning, my presenter. The guest and the guest, I just want to know the duration to study foreign, and we want to have your contacts of the Language Institute from. It's coming from Dr. Abdul at Ngasa Street, Hilltop, Kumba. Thank you very much for writing to us. This one says, my name is Jeffrey Jr. I was a student last year at Ilani studying German. It was real fun and family kudos to is it Herr Elio?
Yeah.
It's coming from Fro Simo and
Frau
is it
Simo. Elio.
And Fro Simo, and he says hi to all my teachers. Thank you very much. This one says, good morning, sir. Good morning, Charlotte. I'm very proud to see you there. Language is power indeed. That is what I'm also out for. Keep up and long live Ilani. Is coming from Edwish Etagnu from Buddha. Thank you very much. Too many messages coming there. We are going to be reading those messages in subsequent editions of the program. I was going to ask you this just before you leave. How are you coping? It must be very challenging for you running a language center that brings in foreigners, especially at this time that Cameroon is living a socio-political crisis. You know about the Anglophone crisis.
Yeah.
It goes down, starts. Sometimes you must respect, and then training must go on. How do you handle that?
Before I go to the question, to answering the question, someone else first asked about the website, and it's simply www.ilaniinstitute.org. You go there, you are going to find every information about the durations of tuition at Ilani. At Ilani, we give courses at different durations, as I rightly said, depending on the needs of the student. Someone may come, for example, just for 2 weeks of phonetics. The person just wants to learn some pronunciation, and we have to teach the person phonetics, and the person may not take 3 months. So there are 2 weeks, 1 month, 9 months, intensive program as well, depending on how long the person, how much time the person has to spend at Ilani, and the specific need of the student as well. And talking about working, you know, I will always tell the public that Ilani is unique in one particular thing. The foundation of Ilani is Jesus Christ. Ilani stands on that sole rock. And everything may shake, but when you are standing on the rock, you cannot be shaken. So I want to assure the public, Ilani stands strong and the doors are open for you. Come, and as you come, we all together go down on our knees and pray that the wind which is blowing, God should preserve us and let a solution, permanent one, be found, so that we can all sleep on our pillows as we did before.
Madam Charlotte Simo is the director of Ilani. If you're just joining on to 360 Degrees, it's always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we shall be looking at the stakes of the Cameroon film industry with different experts in this domain present in the house. We shall be right back.
My name is Wams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki. Call me the journalist. My name is Wams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki. Call me the journalist. My name is Wams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki. Call me the journalist.
The Cameroon film industry has just acquired a new status, the Cameroon Film Industry Limited. This body is expected to function like a company with an objective of creating jobs and redynamizing the cinema industry in the country. The stakes of this of CFI Limited were discussed during a board meeting that held recently in Kumba. We shall be looking at some of the other aspects that were discussed during this board meeting, as we have the guests, the major players as far as the Cameroon film industry is concerned, on the panel. Good morning, Mr. Board Chair, and welcome to 316.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley.
I feared you guys would not make it. I was looking at my watch, it was getting past 10, and I feared that perhaps you guys were caught in traffic.
Yeah, you know, we're not used to this Douala traffic, but thank God we were able to make it.
And also to my left is Billibob Ndive. I hope I get to pronounce it right.
Billibob Ndive is my name.
Billibob Ndive, it's your name. Okay, it's always a pleasure to have you on 360 Degrees. I put it straight, how can you rate on a scale of 10, where 10 is excellent and maybe 0 is
mediocre?
Can you rate the Cameroon film industry today?
On a scale of 10, at this juncture, I think we can put it on 5, 6. Yeah, 5, 6. Between 5 and 6, which is a pass mark. But I think the future is bright. We'll get to 10 somehow, very soon.
Okay, if you're just joining, you're on to 360. This is the board chairman of the Cameroon film industry. You are less than 2 years on that seat, if I'm not mistaken. I took part during your board meeting in Umba, during which you guys were focusing on the stakes of your industry, especially the newly born Cameroon Film Industry Limited. Tell us, how different is administration in the cinema world as far as Cameroon is concerned going to be with the creation of this body?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Consti, for giving me the opportunity to express and explain to the world the Cameroon Film Industry Limited. The Cameroon Film Industry Limited is a baby. It's a creation of the Cameroon film industry. It is not something apart. It's just the business arm of the Cameroon film industry. Our objective, like we already said at the start of the program, is to be able to create jobs, create opportunities where we can market our films ourselves. We can be able to raise funds to guarantee training to ourselves, and all what it takes to organize festivals or be able to raise money to meet up with our objectives. We are not going. We don't want to limit ourselves just in the production of movies and what it takes, because generally in other situations, on other skies, the producers, the marketers, the actors are accompanied. But since we don't have this support, this following which is required, we have decided to take the bulls by the horn by trying to generate income or do something that will accompany us in our
But the board has been there since the inception of CFI. Many people know this name, CFI. Why now? Is it a change in administration, or is it your idea? Is it the idea of the new bureau that is in place? Things did not seem to be working before now. Why? So is it just about giving an impetus as far as the distribution of the product, or what exactly are you guys looking at?
Like I said, generally, when the stake film holders come together, they are accompanied in the process by other stakeholders who are not necessarily real actors in the film industry itself. But for all this while, we've not been able to have this support. And like you said rightly, the marketing and distribution part was actually lacking. That is why we found the need. The board sat, discussed with the Guild Health, and found a need to create a structure that can accompany or close up the gap, which is that of marketing and distribution.
Now tell us about how you separate powers. We are living in an era where decentralization seems not to be working too well for our country. During the meeting, I listened to reports from the Actors Guild, the Directors Guild, the Producers Guild. How is power separated, and what is the role of the board? I want to recall to televiewers that this is Mr. Mbeaouh Alexander. He's the board chair of the Cameroon Film Industry. I hope I get to pronounce your name
perfectly
correctly.
well.
So you were going to tell us how you separate powers to ensure that the different guilds have autonomy and all that.
Yes, it is a wonderful question, and thank you for that. I want to say that the Cameroon film industry is an agglomeration of stakeholders. These stakeholders are of different point of interest, which we call the guilds. Now, this is where the action takes place, in the guilds. The actors come together, discuss points of common interest, and they do the acting. The producers come together and discuss the activities or focus on what a producer is supposed to focus on. Now, the various guilds are independent, I want to say. They function independently. But there is a board, an institution, that brings them together, that coordinates all our activities. And this is the board of delegates, which we call the board. And this is a CFI. So belonging to a CFI is coming straight and say I want to join a CFI is not possible. How do you become part and parcel of CFI? It's belonging to a particular guild. If you're an actor, want to become an actor, then you go to an actor guild. That already automatically makes you a member of the Cameroon film industry. So the board is simply there to coordinate and animate the activities of the boards. That is why in Kumba you could hear them giving the reports of the activities.
Okay, Mr. Billibob Ndive, I think I've not met you personally, but your name is surely a household name. In your capacity as a movie producer in Cameroon, I tried to sample public opinion on Cameroonian movies that are produced. You guys are the ones investing money in these projects that we are seeing. Many Cameroonians feel that their reality is not being told in Cameroonian films. Perhaps that explains why there is apathy in consumption of Cameroonian films. To what extent do you buy that assertion?
I beg to differ 100%. I beg to differ 100% because the apathy you just spoke about is not a matter of cultural identity per se. It's a mindset kind of a thing that is troubling not the film industry alone, but the whole of Cameroon when it comes to consuming local. That is where the apathy is coming from. It's a mindset issue. It's not just this issue of, we are not telling our stories. No, we tell our own stories. At times, the Cameroonian public is so difficult to handle. If you succeed in handling Cameroon, my dear brother, you will succeed in any part of this world. Because we demand a lot without giving a lot. That is it. Because when we talk about, for example, we just spoke of maybe, we are not telling our own stories. No, we are telling our stories. Look at our films. When you hear a title, Ara, that comes from, I think, the Bangi land. It's a film that speaks about the Bangi culture. You look at it, my last job I did, Rumble. It's about the Cameroonian society where corruption is the order of the day. I think I'm telling the Cameroonian story. So it's not a problem. I just think it's a problem of, mindset that we think charity should always begin away from home and not from home.
I think that brings me to one point. Maybe exposure is one of the issues. Sometimes maybe Cameroonians are used to watching maybe Nigerian movies, Ghanaian movies, and then the few Cameroonian movies that comes to them perhaps are not the best ones, and they're tempted to think that we produce mediocre movies and all that. So at what point does distribution come in here, or maybe marketing, branding of movies? And it also goes to say that we know many more Cameroonian movies than many more Cameroonian movie stars.
Well, like the chairman just said, the distribution and marketing, it's a problem in Cameroon. The entertainment world, not the film industry itself, the entertainment world of Cameroon. And I think we are working day in, day out, tooth and nail to try to procure solutions to this issue of distribution. Because, like you say, if we distribute more, we tend to know the stars. The public is going to know the stars, not knowing just the film title or whatsoever. But then, that's why I'm calling on the public to, be a little bit tolerant with the entertainers in Cameroon, because our giant neighbor, was almost consuming everything and consuming the whole of Cameroon and nearly Africa. But we know of some countries that stood their grounds, like Ghana and today Sierra Leone. They stood their grounds and said, no, we will not allow Nigeria consume us. And behold, I think they are making it now. Because you bet with me that for those who know cinema, Ghanaians do better movies than Nigerians. For those who know the art of filmmaking. Until at one point in time, the Nigerians became scared. And they had to ban or suspended the import of products from Ghana, like film products from Ghana. And you know what happened? Ghanaians also did the same. It shows that it's diplomacy, But in Cameroon, we'll just allow everything come in. We are just a kind of a liberal system. Everything comes in. We have a cable that's destroying, because cable also is destroying. We'll talk about marketing. Cable has destroyed Cameroon entertainment. Cable has destroyed Cameroon entertainment. And the film industry in particular. Because you go to countries like Ghana, Nigeria, Believe you, there's no cable there. I'm sorry to say so, there's no cable in Nigeria. If you don't have money to buy a decoder, you will not watch any foreign content or even your own national content for satellite channels. That is the truth. But here in Cameroon, you pay 1,000 francs for 1 month and you have 100 channels. It's piracy. It's against the laws of Cameroon. But the Cameroon government is condoning that. I don't know if they are trying to play some kind of political hanking-panking, but I think one day they should stop the madness.
I'm sure the powers that be are hearing you. We are privileged to have the board chair here, whom perhaps will be talking to the administration concerned. We are addressing these issues. Mr. Board Chair, I was asking myself, what is the point of connection between, is CFI all-inclusive? Is it Cameroon? Is it about English Cameroon? Is it, I want to understand, because attending festivals organized by CFI, I hardly get to see French movies, Francophone movies, being screened, or either way. I don't know. Tell us about that.
Well, just to say that the best movie in CAMIF 2017 was not an English-speaking movie. Just to say that, because CAMIF is also an in-house thing. Though it belongs to an individual, but it is part and parcel of the CFI. I want to say it is, like the name says, it is Cameroon film industry. It's for Cameroon. Anybody, be you Francophone or Anglophone, you are free to belong to the Cameroon film industry. And we have some few Francophones. It is true that it is dominated by the Anglophones, but it's open to the Francophones, and we have some who are actors and some producers. If you look at, like you said, that in festivals, even in Kumba, some Francophones managed to attend.
But my research, it seems like there is a shadow body or some kind of body that exists for Francophones as far as movies is concerned. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes, I know that there is something which is existing for the Francophones. I want to say the CFI, the Common Film Industry, started this other side of the Mongo. And when this was seen, instead of us rallying to try to see how can we build one, it's the politics we always play. I mean, a contrary opinion, a contrary school of thought came up and said, no, but that is maybe Anglophone in bracket. Why don't we do something that can be Francophone? See, that is what is going on. But like I said, it is the Cameroon film industry. The former Minister of Arts and Culture, made it clear. It is an institution. We should not have a multiplicity of the same structure. If there is already a Cameroon film industry, why don't we all build it?
We come back to you, Mr. Billibob. One last question before we take an actor or also a stakeholder in this industry. It must be very costly to produce a film, or even no matter how small it is. One of the major challenges you guys are facing is lack of funding, grants, and all that. How are you swimming your way through that?
Okay, before I get to your question a little bit, I think like the chairman was saying, this issue of the two cultures we have, but I would take it or leave it. There are two cultural heritage that we acquired from the colonial masters. The way the French people make films is different from the way the British and Americans do films. So from that school of thought, it's like, we are going a different way, they are going a different way. No, like he said, CFI was just created. It was born in Boyaso, but we have Francophones in the house. And the fact that they are trying to build another film industry which speaks French, to us it's not a problem. It's not a problem, but I think there should be a synergy at the top where these two film industries can be talking of making movies good for Cameroon, whether it is being French or English.
Is that what is being done, or it should be done?
I think it should be done, because I know of NAFIC. They are coming up with NAFIC. NAFIC is already a structure that is existing. It's NAFIC, they call it the National Film Industry of Cameroon. It's an English acronym, but it's for the French people. You understand? It's something that is trying to counter CFI, but not in that sense, because some people think it's a counter force, but no. It's just another film industry that our brothers from the eastern part of the Mongo are trying to build, which is also good. We have a lot of Lucy member, like Lucy member is a registered member of the PGC of the CFI. You understand? Like he said, the best actor even for Camille was Thierry Tamak, who is not an Anglophone, La Patrie d'abord. So those things always come up. Francophones always attend our festivals and stuff like that. Now, getting back to your question of, of funding. They will say in French, c'est le serpent de mer. Funding in films, not only in Cameroon, is always a problem because without money you cannot make films. Filmmaking is one of the most expensive things to do. So with no support from government, no support from the corporate world,
Is it absolutely no support or limited
I am
support?
telling you that there is no support. I don't want to say there's limited support. We talk money. We talk money. Okay, there was a time I told the minister that, look, we don't even need that government money at this juncture. Just put in place policies that will make our industry so that people can buy. You understand? First, we're doing the DVD market, but it was difficult to even sell 20,000 copies of a DVD in a town like where that has more than 100,000 population. You understand? For example, you do a film in English and then Cameroon has about more than close to 6 million Anglophones, for example. If you can sell just 50,000 copies, you are in business for 1,000 francs. That makes it 50 million. You understand? Now you can put 35 million in a project, you know that okay, your money will come back. But the fact that people they are not adhering into what we do, it's almost it's like a Herculean task getting funding. Now at times our Francophone brothers are privileged, not by the government, but because of overseas structures. Overseas structures, because for example they take fundings from at times Francophonie, from the Mad Africa,
Alliance.
Alliance and stuff that they do have money from there.
So just so another producer watching you at home, what keeps you going despite all these constraints?
The love, passion, faith, and everything. I drink film, I eat film, I sleep film. Everything I do is filmmaking.
Thank you, Mr. Billibob, for talking to us. We shall be having you on the subsequent editions of 360 Degrees. Time is on our next.
Thank you.
Mr. Botche, he was raising some complaints, pertinent issues that I'm sure at your level you are going to be talking with administrators to kind of push this through. Looking at funding, it seems to be fundamental in every endeavor in life. What is going on in other big industries like Nigeria, Ghana? I'm sure you must be abreast with how they do to make their industry flourish.
Like Billibob was just saying, the growth of those industries. I want to say the Nigerian filmmaking community struggled for a while, but there came a point where the government felt implicated and did something that boosted industry. Another important aspect was the diaspora. The diaspora, guys in the diaspora felt interested in this issue, and some of them did not only send funds to help produce movies, some of them even moved back to Nigeria and got involved into movie making. That's what we need for ourselves. And then the most important, I think that has been my cry, because I think it's common, it's very common, is the corporate world. The corporate world is not yet investing into the Cameroon film industry, and I think they need to do that.
Time for us to get our last but not the least guest on this week's edition of 360. Paul Samba is a household name. He has produced a series of movies and a major actor if you're watching Cameroonian movies. Good morning, Paul, and welcome to 360.
Good morning, and thank you very much.
I'm sure you're privileged and honored to have your board chair with you on the same set.
Yeah, sure, it's a pleasure.
People watching us want to know how challenging is it being an actor in Cameroon? Does it put food on one's table?
Well, I won't really say it put foot on one's table, because it's really not an easy task in Cameroon, because we all know film production in Cameroon is an uphill task. But what we do is that we just keep on doing it for the passion that we have, for the passion and the love, because you cannot really make money from filmmaking in Cameroon. Now that we don't have any support from the government.
Does this explain why we have people multitasking? Someone is an actor, is a producer, is a director. How easy is it handling those different portfolios?
Yeah, thank you very much, because I, for one, am a producer and at the same time an actor. So I started just by acting films, but later on I discovered that if I want to keep on doing what I love so much, I have to, like, you know, sacrifice my hard-earned money to produce movies so that it should, you know, so that I should keep on doing what I love so much. That's the thing.
There seems to be a multiplicity in Actors Guilds in Cameroon, according to my research. Unless I'm wrong, to which Actors Guild do you belong? And do you think that there are more than one Actors Guild?
No, we have just one Actors Guild in Cameroon, which is NACAM. I belong to NACAM, and at the same time I belong to the Producers Guild because I'm an actor and producer.
How advantageous is it to belong to the Actors Guild for those potential actors who are watching us?
Well, it's very advantageous because I think now that we are just like trying to do everything by ourselves, we have to like come together and work as one person. Because now, if I want to produce a movie and I don't have enough money to compensate my actors, they have to come in and show me that love so that together we can work, and by the end of the day, I just compensate them with a little that I will be able to, you know, chip in. Because
thank you very much, Samba, for talking to us. It is always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Mr. Board Chair,
Yes.
one word for stakeholders of the Cameroon film industry before we quit this program.
Well, I want to say that...
perhaps you're talking to your camera.
Yes, I want to say that the Cameroon film industry has come to stay. We are doing everything to make sure that this institution is self-sustainable. But then, we cannot do everything by ourselves. My interest goes first and foremost to the corporate world. The corporate world needs to believe and trust in us. They need to invest so that we can reinvest these investments of theirs to create jobs, to sell out our culture. So I am calling on anybody who loves that our culture sells out of the country to have a concern for the industry.
Thank you very much. And of course, that is the board chair of the Cameroon film industry, Mr. Mbeaouh Alexander, talking to us on 360. That was all we put together for you today on this program. If you liked it, why not join us on our Facebook page at 360 with ANJIANJEI. And also, you could contact us on 676-335224 to tell us your interest, your communication interest as far as this is concerned. My name is ANJIANJEI Constantine, signing out from our headquarters in Douala. Bye-bye.
Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki Doki. Call me the John.